Hi there, I'm Matt Sargent with ABC Acres in Hamilton, Montana. Today I'm out here in our tree belts and we're doing a follow-up Friday about episode 20, Intro to Fruit Tree Guilds. I'm going to focus more on just guilds in general. If you'll notice in front of me, we have a baby chestnut, Chinese chestnut, Castanea species. Obviously not a fruit-bearing tree. I also have right next to it some silverberry. This does bear fruit. They work hand in hand. People wanted some examples, so we're going to go around and look at some examples of some of the guilds. And right here, this is our primary tree. This is what we're focusing our energy on. And it's just a baby Chinese chestnut. But to support it, we have the silverberry, which will also provide us some great nutraceutical berries. It's also a nitrogen fixer. So occasionally we'll come in, we'll prune it as the roots die back. They will release some of that nitrogen, sharing it with our chestnut tree. Underneath the silverberry, we have these beautiful flowers. This is a lupin. Lupin is also a leguminous species, a nitrogen fixer. So as we chop and drop that, it's also feeding the silverberry and the chestnut, giving them excess nitrogen. And then on the far left here, we'll kind of bring it in here. You can see slightly different flowers. Every permaculturist's favorite broadleaf perennial, comfrey. I believe this is Bocking 4. A dynamic accumulator. So it's great for comfrey to have the lupine here, as well as the silverberry, because comfrey is actually, even though it's a great chop and drop plant, and it's got lots of other nutrients in it, it is a heavy feeder. So having the leguminous species with it to help support it, and then it in turn feeds all the rest of them minerals that it mines from deep in the subsoil. But everything here is really kind of benefiting everything else. And so that's our first example of a tree guild here at ABC Acres. All right, and I'm back. We're in a bit of the same tree belt a little further to the east. We've got a more mature chestnut tree here, set in catkins, which is beautiful. And it basically has the same guild we just went over. But what I wanted to show is the bigger guild within our tree belts. If you kind of look directly behind it, you can see a nice tall serviceberry or Saskatoon. That is going to be the shrub layer of this area eventually, whereas the chestnut will be the canopy. It's just a much slower growing tree. And I'm going to kind of step out of the way and move the camera around a little bit. But to the left of the chestnut, right in there, that's a black locust. And on both sides of the chestnut, we have that same black locust. And then if you look towards the cattle, right in there, that's an elderberry, another shrub layer. So up along the fence line, that's where we have our shrub layer, and then our shrub layer, and that's a row that we have in our tree belts. And then here we've got our canopy trees, and it's generally a spacing of Chinese chestnut, then a locust, either black or honey, and then either another chestnut or an oak or a maple. And we've kind of repeated that pattern. And then each tree, so that's a larger guild, more of a macro guild. And then each individual tree has its lupine, its comfrey, its silverberry, for a greater diversity. With that said, thanks for joining us for a follow-up Friday. I hope you guys have a great weekend planned. And if you have any questions or feedback, like always, we love to hear from you. Happy growing.